Okay, folks, it's 9:02 by my clock, so we'll kind of get started here. We promise certainly to get everyone out by 10 o'clock at the latest. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Appleton. I am the Director of Business Development at Kinghome, Canada, and we are very happy to see the number of folks on the call here this morning. And joining me this morning are Amanda and Julia from GreenBrain. And as many of you know, GreenBrain is one of the 8 service providers for the Enbridge Home Energy Rebate Program. And Kyle Switzer from Financeit, who is going to talk about obviously the benefits of financing and how to coordinate perhaps the financing with these programs. Okay, so moving along. Obviously, we know what this webinar is about, the Home Energy Rebate Program and the interest-free federal loan program. And certainly with number 3, I think there's a lot of folks, certainly on this call, I'm sure there's a number that know this program very well, but I dare say there's a number that don't. And certainly the benefits of understanding the ins and outs of the federal loan program, interest-free loan program, it's all about getting a leg up and a leg up on your competition. So understanding the ins and outs, being able to explain it properly to your customer, I dare say you do that, and maybe 2 or 3 competitors behind you with the customer maybe won't. Okay, so information's king, as we know. So that's what really this is about. And then if you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat box. We will address those during the FAQ and Q&A session. And if you actually, one question comes up is, hey, can I get a copy of this presentation? And certainly you can if you send an email to info at kinghomecanada.com. You can send a request and we will certainly get that to you. And because Kinghome is hosting this webinar, a selfish plug, if I may, for Kinghome Canada. As many of you know, we are owned by GRE, and as the slide says, our mission is to deliver industry-leading heat pump technology to Canadians at an affordable price. We're headquartered in Vaughan. Again, as many of you know, we have 3 main warehouses in the GTA for our equipment, and we pride ourselves on superior customer service. We have a fantastic group in Vaughan that certainly will take care of you. Responsive tech support. Tech support is always extremely important to contractors in the field. Getting timely responses, regular dealer training sessions. We have training sessions, folks, almost weekly for contractors at our headquarters in Vaughan, and we can also arrange to do on-site training if that's what you prefer with your company. Wide range of equipment offerings, competitive pricing. We feel very competitive with our pricing. A 12-year, attractive 12-year parts warranty, not 10, but 12-year parts warranty, and ongoing marketing support. You can see our offerings on the residential and commercial side. Okay. If you want more information on what Kinghome has to offer, you can certainly go to kinghomecanada.com, visit our website, get a bit more detail there. Or again, if you have questions specific, I will say again that info at kinghomecanada.com is the place to go to ask us any specific questions. All right. So you didn't come to this webinar to listen to this talking head here. I'm going to pass the baton over to Amanda and Julia from GreenBrain. Over to you, ladies.
Thank you. Just going to share my screen. Hey, so good morning, everyone. I'm Amanda, and I'm excited to take you through the Greener Homes Loan and the Enbridge Home Efficiency Program. At GreenBrain, we've been dedicated to energy conservation since 2012, helping homes and small businesses reduce their energy consumption and save money. So GreenBrain is a licensed service organization by the federal government. We are one of the 8 companies approved to deliver the new Enbridge HER program. Our team of over 70 energy advisors across Canada have completed more than 100,000 home energy audits, and we're here to help you understand how these programs can benefit you. So Julia's going to take over.
Amanda, I think you need to go to the HR program.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just let me
Oops.
go. Okay.
Sorry for that, guys. So as Chris and Amanda said, my name is Julia Pontrol. I am the Quality Assurance Manager at GreenBrain, and I'm here to talk just a little bit, just a quick overview on the new HR program, which was launched by Enbridge in July 15th. Next slide. So first thing first, as we talked a few times, we are one of the 8 service organizations approved by Enbridge to deliver the program. And in addition to that, first thing first, your energy audit needs to be done by one of those 8 service organizations in order for that homeowner to be eligible for the HR program. And in addition to that, you have to perform a minimum of 2 qualifying measures. So in your case, we're talking about heat pump, right? So heat pump by itself does not qualify the homeowner. So we need a second measure in there. We'll list all the possible options. And again, as Chris said, at the end of the presentation, you can ask questions and we're going to go through it. But just to give you a heads up, heat pump only won't qualify you for the HR program. Okay, we need to get a second one over there. When it comes to the type of homes, pretty much everything. Detached home, semi-detached, row house, townhouse, even mobile homes do qualify as long as they are in a permanent foundation. However, MURBs, and I say MURBs, it's like multi-unit residentials, do not qualify for this program. Enbridge has left it aside just to make it easier for all the service organizations. On the good end, any rental property, it does not need to be your primary, right? You can live on the property or not. It could be just your secondary house. Either way, it all qualifies. However, one thing that I would like to highlight for you to guys keep in mind is that house needs to be heated primarily by Enbridge natural gas. So I'm talking about, let's say the house has a baseboard as their primary heating system and they have a secondary fireplace heated by natural gas. That's not enough to qualify the homeowner as an Enbridge customer in this case, right? So we need the primary heating system to be heated, powered by natural gas, right? And again, we do follow-ups, right? So we do a first visit and we do a second visit. So if you're not heated primarily on the first visit, you still have the chance of being heated primarily on the follow-up. So if that same homeowner has a baseboard on the first visit, and you know for sure they will be putting in a furnace, so we know they qualify for that program, even if it's just on the second visit, on the follow-up. This program has a cap of $5,000, inclusive of those $600 regarding the energy audit fee. And also, one detail here, Enbridge won't be paying any homeowner until 2025, right? Basically, they are wrapping up the legacy program so they can start paying out the new program. That's basically how they work, right? One very good thing for you is that rental equipment also qualifies. That's a very positive thing about the new program. And again, it can be combined with the interest-free loan program. So it's kind of like stackable in a way, right? It's not the same. Those are different programs. One is loan, one is rebate, but still though, you can benefit of both at the same time. Next slide. I'm not going to go too deep in here. Again, we have questions and we can answer to them. But basically, the main thing I would like you guys to keep in mind is that there is a list provided by NRCan, and I don't know, most of you, I would say, are list based on previous programs, but the equipment still needs to be a match on the NRCan list. Indoor unit, outdoor unit, or indoor unit, outdoor unit plus furnace still needs to be an AHRI listed on the website to qualify. One very good thing is the heat pump does not need to feed or heat the whole house anymore. It could be just one room. It could be the whole floor. It could be the whole house, as long as it meets the requirements for size. Okay. There are two columns over there. You see on the far right end, it's like rebate Energy Star rated and rebate cold climate. So regular air source heat pump or a cold climate, right? So it's basically, we're talking about 500 per ton for a cold climate, 250 for a regular source heat pump. And it goes up until 4 tons. You go from 250 up to 1,000 for a regular source and 500 to 2,000 for a cold climate unit. Water heaters also qualify, ground source as well, not as common as air source, but still though, they are listed as an option for upgrades. Next slide. So we're talking about 2 minimum measures, right? So those are the options that we can combine with the heat pump to get that homeowner qualified, right? So attic insulation, basement crawl space, exterior wall, like there are many options that we kind of like just combine with the heat pump to get that homeowner qualified. One that the heat pump companies use very much is the air sealing. This is something very tricky and hard for us to guarantee you, right? Because it all depends on the task that is performed. But well, it's something that it's still allowed by the program. So you can kind of like play with it and combine with the heat pump. You just want to make sure the job is really well done. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. I'm just going to pass the baton back to Amanda, and she's going to talk a little bit about the loan program. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So what is the Canada Greener Homes loan? It's the financial program provided by Canadian government to help owners make more energy efficient. The loan is part of the Canada Greener Homes Initiative, which aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and support sustainable home improvements. So the loan amount, Canadians can get up to $40,000 to cover the cost of eligible retrofits. It's interest-free, making it very attractive to homeowners, and it has a repayment of up to 10 years. Sorry. Some of the benefits, it's interest-free. It helps reduce energy bills. So energy efficient upgrades can lead to substantial reductions in your monthly energy bills. It increases your home value. So energy efficient homes are more attractive to buyers and can fetch higher resale values. Improved home comfort. So better insulation keeps your house warmer. It can also be used to bridge financing. So in conjunction with Financeit, you can ensure that you get the work done without waiting for other funds to come through. Again, the flexible repayment period, up to 10 years to repay the loan, making it manageable within your budget. So the Canada Greener Homes loan is a valuable opportunity for homeowners to invest in energy efficient upgrades with no interest costs, leading to significant savings and enhanced home comfort. It's almost like the government is giving you free money. So here are the eligible retrofits for the Greener Homes loan. So you can also visit online to NRCan's website and it will give you a list, but here are the qualifying measures. So there's the HVAC, so installing a qualifying air source heat pump, installing a qualifying ground source heat pump, insulation as well for the attic, above grade walls, foundation walls, windows, doors, and then additional upgrades. All of these items must be on the eligible product list on National Resources Canada. So there's potential savings compared this is just the comparison for financial savings. So if you were to borrow $5,000, this is the interest, the $2,929 is what you'd be saving in the loan. Again, this is just based on a 10-year term at a 10% interest rate. So there is a great amount of savings for each and every homeowner with this. The application process. So, oopsies. So you would schedule a pre-retrofit evaluation with GreenBrain. So an energy advisor will evaluate your home and then recommend eligible retrofits. Then from step 2, you'll plan your retrofits, obtain quotes, review the pre-retrofits evaluation report, and plan your retrofits. Get quotes from contractors, each retrofit ensuring itemized costs. Do not start any work until the loan and application is submitted. From there, the homeowners will submit the loan application and require documents. The pre-retrofit evaluation number will be given at that time, and that will be the ID number for the loan. You will require a government-issued photo ID, your property tax bill, and detailed quotes from the contractors. You would complete your retrofits and copies of all receipts and invoices for the work completed. And then you would have your post-retrofit evaluation. Contact GreenBrain to get your post-retrofit evaluation. And once all retrofits are complete, your energy advisor would provide a complete report showing the impact of the retrofits. And then the final step for this process would be you would request the final loan advance. After the post-retrofit evaluation, you'd log into the loan application portal and select request funding, and then upload all documents. And then the last step is you would receive your loan amount within 10 days. It's a really simple process for each and every homeowner, and the guided steps are all in front of you, as well as GreenBrain has a great support team to be able to provide each and every step and just kind of clearing the path and making things easy for each and every homeowner and contractor as well. And then repay the loan. So you have the 10 years to pay it off. And then some frequently asked questions. How much can you borrow? You can borrow between $5,000 to $40,000. The payment of frequency is the first of every month. To apply, you'd have to go online to the Canada Greener Home site, and then that will bring you to where you apply for the loan. And you can combine this with other incentives like the HER program with Enbridge just to maximize all your benefits. If you sell your home before the loan is repaid, you must pay off the remaining balance at the time of the sale. And you can hire multiple contractors for different retrofits that you're having. So you can have one for your heat pump, one for your attic insulation, and one for your windows. And then the maximum eligible amount that you can receive as an initial advance is 15% of the quoted contract. So you will receive funds before you start your project just to help alleviate the costs as well. Okay, thank you for your time.
Great. I guess it's my turn to take over. So I'm going to start by actually just introducing myself quickly, and then I'll share my screen here in a moment. My name is Kyle Switzer. I'm from Financeit. I want to say thank you to Chris for having me. Julie and Amanda, that was great, super informative. So that was really helpful to lead into what I'm going to talk about here shortly. And thank you to all of you that have attended today. It is to me an amazing attendance, over 50 people here, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to chat with all of you today. I'm going to put my email into the chat here in a second. And so if you do have any questions after today and you want to follow up with me or receive a copy of the presentation or anything like that, feel free to shoot me an email, and I would love the opportunity to chat with you guys afterwards. So I will do that, and I will share my screen here. See how this works. Here we go. Right. So perfect. So I'm going to start off by talking, kind of piggybacking off of what Amanda and Julia were talking about. And I saw a question in the chat from Nigel, and I saw a response there, and really start off by talking about the promotions that we have right now with Kinghome. So a great way to leverage those rebates and the Canada Greener Homes loan is to use it in conjunction with the Financeit platform. We just got finished talking about 0% interest. Well, I'm about to talk about interest. But if there's an opportunity to use our program as a way to help alleviate some of those concerns around payment, deferrals are a great way to do that. So currently, we have a 3-month deferral program on at a 2% discount. So it's a 2% cost to our partner to give the customer 3 months, no interest, no payments. And this is a great way to, ensure that you're closing your job quickly, getting that across the line, and potentially alleviating some of those timeline concerns that you may have with either the Canada Greener Homes loan or the HER rebate plan. And it's also helpful, obviously, for your end user if they're going to use that rebate to help pay off portion of their loan, that they have 3 months before interest starts accruing, and they can make sure that they're getting that rebate prior and then using that to help pay off their loan with us. Now, that's that stuff. I want to really dive into the benefits of financing. I think we just spent some time talking about Canada Greener Homes loan and the benefits of that program, but taking a 30,000-foot view and talking about the benefits of offering a deferral program or offering financing to you. Obviously, I work for Financeit, but before we even can talk about what the benefits of Financeit are, I think it's really important that everyone here understands the benefit of financing. And where I want to start is on the transaction size. The Canada Greener Homes loan, the rebate programs, they require 2 upgrades, right? And financing really helps with that process of upselling and cross-selling and increasing your transaction size. We have done the work with HVAC contractors that work with us, and on average, I saw someone on this call actually that I did this exact exercise with, and on average, their average ticket size was 40% higher on finance than it was on cash. And that's a pretty staggering number. And the reason that happens is because people more often go for packages. They go for the additional products. They go for the water heater with their heat pump or an air purification system, or potentially the furnace paired with the heat pump, or whatever that secondary product is, more easily when we're offering a monthly payment. Most customers are coming in with a budget, and they understand how much they are likely going to pay based on, a referral that they got from your competition or an advertisement that they've seen. And then you go in and you start adding products, and they may have some sticker shock over what that cost. But when you add on a monthly, it's a little bit easier for them to digest. Easier to say, oh, it's an extra $20 or $30 a month than to say it's an extra $2,000 or $3,000 today. Of course, financing really will help you with your closing rates. It's pretty simple. I'm sure everybody on this call accepts a credit card. Financing is just an extension of that. It's so important to meet your customers where they are, so that you're able to offer them whatever payment method that they require, whether that be cash, check, credit, or financing. You don't want to have to ever turn away a sale because you don't have the payment method that customer requires. I also think that financing has a huge impact on lead volume. Over the last months that we haven't been actively working with the rebate before this new rebate came into effect, common theme amongst the HVAC contractors that I talked to was that lead volume was down. Well, financing helps with lead volume. When you're able to advertise a low monthly payment, when you're able to advertise no interest, no payments for a period of time, that really helps, get the phone ringing. It also helps in the referral market. If you get all of your leads through referrals, by offering monthly payments, you will see that you're going to be finding getting customers in from a new segment of the population. If you're dealing all in a similar community, which a lot of us do, right, because our referrals stay inside of a similar community, so same socioeconomic backgrounds, when you start to get some monthly payments, now you start to diversify the type of customer you're dealing with. And I think that's all really important to offering financing. And then, when it comes to using financing along with the Canada Greener Homes Loan or the HER program, this really helps to quicken the pace, right? Speed to lead is super, super important in our industry. Being able to close that sale and get that unit installed, well, with our system and instantaneous approvals and being able to just move allows you to move a lot quicker and get those units installed a lot faster, and get the process for your homeowner and your customer started a lot quicker to get them their rebates and so on and so forth. And that leads perfectly into the benefit for your customers, right? It's easy for us to get all caught up in how does this program help us, and how are we going to make more money, and how are we going to make our businesses more effective and more profitable. But it doesn't help if there's no benefit to the end user, because if there's no benefit to the end user, they're not going to do it. If they're not going to do it, you're not going to want to do it. So pretty simple. As mentioned, I think that the financing allows customers to get better product. When I was talking about the benefit to you to increase your ticket price, that's also a benefit to the customer, right? I saw on the previous slides about, with the higher efficiency units, and forgive me, obviously not an expert in that, that you're able to get bigger rebates. Well, guess what? It's easier to get that better equipment when you're paying monthly, right? And again, an additional $10 a month easier than an additional $1,500 or whatever that equals. So when customers want the best product, I'm sure you guys all see this. When you're quoting and you're doing a good, better, best, the customer wants the best product. They want the high-end equipment, but oftentimes they can't afford the high-end equipment, so they end up cheaping out and going with the lesser equipment. This allows them to get the better equipment because it's easier, right? Obviously, our rates are better than credit cards. That doesn't say much, but it is something. And our loans are 100% open. So there's no penalty to paying them off, which is really, really important when pairing our loans along with either a Canada Greener Homes Loan or a rebate program. And again, speed to lead, right? We have an application for the phone I'm going to get into here momentarily, and that application will allow you to receive instantaneous approvals on spot and be able to move very, very quickly. We also offer a wide range of programs. So I've been talking about the deferral program today, but we have a wide range of programs to fit within your business needs and to fit your customers' needs. So it's very important to, I spent basically all day yesterday meeting with contractors, and the big push was about a needs assessment with your customer, understanding what does your customer require. You guys already do this in each and every one of your interactions with the customer. You do a needs assessment. You understand, what does this customer need from a HVAC perspective? What product do they require based on their current systems and what they can get with a new system? What rebate may be available? Well, you need to do the same needs assessment based on how are they going to pay, right? Is this a customer that can pay this off right away? Are they someone who can qualify for a Canada Greener Homes Loan? Is this someone who's going to have to pay for this loan over time? Are they someone who, just wants to pay you today, but give you a check right now? Different strokes for different folks. Financing allows you to provide that flexibility so that you have an offering that meets every customer where they are in that moment. And I think that's an important aspect as well. In that moment, people change, times change, things change. We've all been through it over the last, few years, and seeing all the changes in our industry and in the world, and being able to have different offerings allows you to meet that customer where they are when they are there. Moving on to, so that's the financing portion. I'm going to talk a little bit about Financeit and what we do. I think most importantly, the way we view, our company is, we're a piece of the puzzle that fits within your company. And that means that I don't jam my piece into your puzzle. I make it fit to what you do. Our process, our portal, our app, it is very customizable in terms of how you operate with it. So with the training from our team, we can show you how to use our portal to maximize your effort and make it fit within your current process. All of you guys have different processes, different ways in which you do things, whether you have dedicated sales staff or tech sales or tech leads, or you go into the house and you quote on spot and close on spot, or you go into the house and build a quote and come back to the office and email to the customer. No matter which way you do it, and there's no right way or wrong way, there's just different ways. Our program and our process can help fit within that. Okay. And to the same aspect is that, different, when you're getting a credit loan, we have to get certain information from our customers. And so depending on your comfort level with getting that information from your customers, there are ways in which you can kind of punt that to the customer and let the customer do that without you having to actually fill out a credit application on your end, which is super helpful. And our system is super secure. I think this is something I've been doing this, going on 10 years now. And over the years and working with different companies, there's something at Financeit that is, I think, pretty invaluable. And in light of, the world we live in today, in terms of, security and protecting your identity and, all the information that lives online, I can't overstate how important it is to have a secure network. And it's super impressive, to be honest. As someone I've only been at Financeit a little over a year now, and in that time, it's been really impressive to see how secure things are here, to the point where, as an employee, it can get kind of annoying. But at the end of the day, it is really impressive, super secure. Everything happens in our portal, both on your side and the customer side. So the customer actually gets a log into our portal as well. And everything they do, from, setting up their payments to signing their loan agreement to making future payments, happens in our ecosystem. And because it happens in our ecosystem and we're not using any third parties like a DocuSign or something like that, we don't have to worry about someone else and their security. We can rely purely on our security and really make sure that they are taken and held, that information is held within our ecosystem. And I can't overstate how important that is. Whether or not you may or may not realize it, your customers can get worried about these sorts of things. And, having that extra level of security is absolutely paramount. So wanted to also show you last thing really, and then I'm going to address, a couple FAQs, is the loan application flow. So really simple here slide to show this. I think this will illustrate a little bit better for you if you ask, and I can send you the presentation, or if you'd like to set up a meeting with me and I can do a demo for you and show you. But really shows, very simple. We ask a few information, we get the customer approved. For anybody that's used our platform, ask around. That takes seconds, literal seconds, to get that customer approved. Once they are approved, it's just a quick matter of checking a couple boxes, setting up their payments, and having them sign a loan agreement, and then you're ready to get paid, right? And all you have to do is send a notification over to the customer, and once your installation is done, and then we pay you, and away you go via EFT. So super simple. So just to also, Chris and I had spoke right before this meeting, and he asked, if I had an FAQ slide, which I didn't, and maybe he had me asked that yesterday, I would have built it. Just teasing you, Chris. But I did want to address kind of, I think, two of the biggest questions that I get most commonly, or call it three. Number one is, how fast do you get paid? So we pay within 2 business days. Once you submit your paperwork and you click the request funds button, we will pay within 2 business days to you. So that's super quick. Sometimes faster than that, but we'll put it into the ones and zeros in the air with the banks, and they'll decide once it hits your account. Second thing that I get is about loans, and I've already mentioned this a couple times, but I want to hit it because I think it's probably the most important thing, is our loans are 100% open. Customers can pay off that loan at any time with no penalty. Okay. The only additional fee that exists with our loan is an administration fee, which is a maximum of $150 and can be less depending on the loan. That is the only additional fee that it goes to a customer, and it's not hidden; it is upfront. So that is super important. We do not register liens on properties, as most people, I think, in the HVAC space are aware of that legislation. But I mean, we never registered liens on properties, so it wasn't anything we had to change. So that was super easy. And yeah, I think that hopefully covers some FAQs. I obviously wasn't able to look at the chat while I was speaking. So if there are any questions, we'll get to them. But again, last thing I'll say is thank you so much for your time. Chris, thank you for having me. And I look forward to getting to know everybody over the coming days, weeks, and months.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kyle. And certainly I was trying to keep an eye on the chat box, and I know that as we've kind of gone through the presentation, a lot of these questions have been answered. Maybe a few that maybe weren't. I'm just going to vocalize here. One of the questions was, does the homeowner still need to pay for installation up front? And I'm going to throw that right to Kyle, because I think you've got a pretty good answer to that.
Yeah. So on the Kinder Greener Homes loan, from what Julie and Amanda were saying is like you can get up to 15% of the product. The customer can, but then they would have to give that to you. Obviously, then they're going to have to wait to get their loan and pay you back. They can tell me how long that takes for them to get the full amount. However, that's where we come in. I think that's where I recommend using our platform, right? If you set them up with a loan, we're going to pay you within 2 business days of the completion of the job, the full amount. So you'll be paid in full. And after that, when they get their Canada Greener Homes loan or their rebates, they can kind of do with it what they will.
Great. Thanks, Kyle. A question that was answered, but I think a lot of folks ask is, hey, what's the cost of the pre and post evaluation? And I know, Amanda, I think you answered that in the chat box. So if anyone on this call has a question about that, certainly reach out to I think, Amanda, you put your email address, amanda@greenbraininc.com. If you've got any questions on that. And speaking of GreenBrain, this one's for you, Julie and Amanda. And this comes up a lot with the Home Energy Rebate Program, the second measure. So I know you talked a fair bit about air sealing and the fact that, hey, Enercan has kind of got a spotlight on air sealing just based on the past and so forth.
Yes.
So what is the I guess the question was the least intrusive measure to accommodate, say, a heat pump? What do you, I guess, more clearly, what are you seeing right now?
Okay, that's a very good question, and we've been getting that quite a lot, to be very honest with you, Chris. And the thing is, it really depends on what area you're working with, right? So it depends how old is the house, but mostly what we're seeing is attic. Attic is the way to go. Most of them have like R20, R24, or whatever like that. It does give us like a little bit of space. You won't spend a lot of money on that attic insulation because you do have quite a bit already. So you just need that extra stretch to R50. So most of the heat pumps we've seen, it's like combining with attic. There's also like those homes that have like an unfinished 20% of the basement, right? Or just 50% does not have that insulation. So you just add that a bad insulation stick to the wall, and then you get that extra measure in there. Air sealing, we're not saying no, right? It's not that we're saying no, do not do it. It's just really tricky. As Chris said, it's like Enercan has all those like big eyes on it. We have changed a little bit the way we do things because, again, it is what it is. We're going to have people pushing to get that extra measure. So we're kind of like improving our quality assurance in order to make things a bit harder. Let's put it this way, to make sure we got our back covered, right? That's pretty much what we're doing. But again, like air sealing is also an option, but it really depends on the house you're working with. If it's a home for 2015, for 2005, I don't know, it's really hard for you to get that improved. It's going to take you a big job. It's going to take you like a really good air sealing company contractor to do that. So say any house from 70s, 80s, you can do that extra air sealing, but anything newer than that, it's going to be really hard for you to meet the target. So I would say, Chris, for sure, attic insulation and basement insulation are two of the like easier way to meet that second measure.
Good. No, thank you. Very thorough. Thanks, Julia. And I just see a question here from George pop up, and I get this a fair bit too, where with the loan, someone has a heat pump, furnace, and insulation, will that loan fund everything, or just the attic insulation and heat pump? So that question, I guess, is to Julie and Amanda.
Yeah, so it's like as long as the furnace is part of the combo, is part of the AHI, then yes, you can get fund for the whole combination, right? However, if you're doing just a coil only, right? I don't know if all of you guys are like familiarized with that kind of combination, but you could have a coil only combination, and like that furnace won't be covered since it's not part of that AHI, right? So it's a bit tricky here. It's a lot of an extra money for the furnace. However, if it's not part of the AHI, it won't be covered by the loan, unfortunately.
Okay, good. Another one here, and I think you may have covered this, Amanda and Julia, but the whole loan process, and I know, Amanda, you went through the steps, the criteria required. But I think there's a question in the chat box, and again, I get asked this, I think we get asked this a fair bit, is, so how long does it take to get paid? So how long does it take for this loan process to go through? So again, probably repeating some of the things you said, but it's a question that gets asked a lot. So maybe you can kind of answer that again if you could.
So once when you finish your retrofits and you have your post evaluation, the homeowner would upload all of its documents onto the portal. And then from there, they would request funds. Those funds would be received into their bank account within 10 days.
So pretty quick turnaround.
Yes.
Once the steps have been completed.
Once the steps are completed. So it's all dependent on how quickly that gets uploaded into National Resources Canada on our end, which normally typically takes up to 7 days for us to get those on there. And then the homeowner has to do their steps to get those funds.
Sorry, just to add to what Amanda was just saying. So once we upload that to the portal, that's how we call the Greener Homes portal. It can take up to 24 hours to kind of like keep the loan portal. Let's put it this way, right? Sometimes it's right away, but it can take 24 hours once we submit that. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Good. And as Kyle mentioned too, in his presentation, with that deferral program and the attractive rate that we have kind of going on right now, that as a contractor, you safeguard your customer by allowing the contractor to get paid, and with that 90-day deferral period to certainly, that's more than enough time, typically, from what you've just said, Julia, to get those funds approved with that interest-free loan. Okay, so really good opportunity here. Look, Kyle, it looks like you're ready to say something.
I was just gonna say, we also have so we have the 3-month deferral program, which is great. And for those customers that need a little bit more time, we also have a 6-month no interest plan. So that's 6 months, no interest, but they do make a payment. It goes just directly towards principal over those 6 months. So a very low payment that goes direct towards principal. If they do, over time, as you guys work, I know these programs, can change and things can be different. And especially for that rebate program that I know Julia mentioned you're not gonna get the rebate till 2025. It might be helpful to use that 6-month program as well. So happy to go into greater detail, on a one-on-one with anybody that's interested in that. But that's also a program that we do have available for rates that are in the same neighborhood as your credit card rates. So that could be something that's really helpful as well.
Stuff. I think that answers most of the questions, the ones that haven't been asked. If for some reason there's other questions that come up, once we sign off here, again, our email address is info at kinghomecanada.com. And certainly if the question is not related to us, we can certainly get a hold of GreenBrain or Kyle and get your question answered. Again, if you want a copy of this webinar, it's been recorded. Again, info at kinghomecanada.com. Send us a note and we'll make sure that you get it. Okay. So it is going on 10 to 10. My goodness, we're early. Wow. Isn't that special? So anyway, thanks very much to everyone taking the time to participate today. And a big shout out to Kyle, Julia, and Amanda. Thank you so much for your participation and education. And we look forward to interacting with everyone on this call. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off and wish everyone a happy Tuesday. All right. Thanks,
care.
everyone. Yep. Bye-bye.